Hey guys, I'm here today with you because I have a question from a gentleman named Kevin Adams who wrote me an email in reply to one of my recent newsletters. So, and it's a juicy question. I want you to stay around for this whole video to really gain value from it. But first, let me just say hi. I'm Renee Lee. To those of you that are new, I'm a Soul Purpose Success Mentor and Soul Freedom Guide. What I stand for on this planet is orgasmic soul freedom, where you get to unshackle yourself from limiting culture and tradition, unshackle yourself from victimhood and guilt and all that heaviness and yuckiness that keeps you small and safe and really feeling like you're stuck in a box, right? So I'm committed to all of humanity unshackling themselves from lower energies and limiting beliefs so they can step into soul freedom, orgasmic soul freedom, where you can really create the life that your soul wants to create on this earth plane. So that's what I stand for. And I am here today because there is a juicy question from a man named Kevin Adams. So he writes in response to my recent email, which was titled, "You Can't Create Impact If You Don't Open Your Mouth, plus I Declared My Vision." So it sounds like Kevin's been following me for a little while because he knows that I'm in a pivot year, right, for 2019. And many of you, if you've been following my videos, you know this. So he says, "Dear Mrs. Lee," and I think it's cute, he calls me Mrs. Lee, "I want to thank you for the videos and emails. I wanted to know, how do you become patient in life and understand the season you're in?" What a great question. How do you become patient in life and understand the season you're in? The one-word answer is surrender. Now, I don't want you to think about it like, well, what season am I in? I just want you to be present wherever you are and then notice when it's time for the transition, right? So start to observe the signs. It's what I call the God breadcrumbs. They could be synchronicities. God breadcrumbs can be just spirit messages that you channel during meditation or otherwise. It could just be a heart tug or a heart pull, as I call it. Or it could just be a spark of desire within you, right? A spark of desire or a knowing that this is what you want next or what your soul wants next. I want you to notice the God breadcrumbs and then just surrender and follow it so that the transition from one season to another can complete with ease and grace. When you don't surrender, it can feel very hard, right? If you're really trying to hang on to an old business model, for example, or if you're really trying to hang on to an old message or trying to hang on to a relationship or trying to hang on to whatever it is, when the universe and life are trying to pull you to the next season and you're trying to hang on, that can feel hard. You'll feel the tension in your life and your being. Or if you're pushing away the thing that is flowing into your life that next season, if you're pushing it away because you're like, I don't know if I'm ready, I think I may want to just hang out in this particular season for another year or two. If you're going to have that aversion to the change that's coming into your life, that's going to feel hard as well. So the key is to surrender so you can have the easiest experience and really understand flow. Okay, so, and here's a great book too, for those of you that really want to play and explore with this word surrender, like really sink into what could it look like, what's possible when you surrender. There's a great book out there by Michael A. Singer called The Surrender Experiment. It was actually a New York Times bestseller. I absolutely love the book. I don't know where it is right now. It's not in my library, but I had the book, I read it through, and it was just amazing, and it changed my life. And right after I read the book, I think it was like a couple of years ago, I was always on Facebook teaching, say yes to everything, like whatever shows up, say yes, try on just saying yes and surrendering to all the opportunities that come up. Because how many times do we say no to things and we suppress, maybe it's like, different synchronicities will come up and ask you to change physical location, maybe move away from where you are to another location. And because our head says it doesn't make sense with our original plan, right? It doesn't make sense with our wallet. It doesn't make sense for my family. It doesn't make sense for the other people around me. Like all these reasons and stories and considerations that you have in your head will make you suppress a God breadcrumb. And this is so human nature because we live so much in our head. So try on just saying yes, right? That's the first step in surrendering. Try on just saying yes to whatever the thing is showing up in your life. And you'll know. So I want you to really start to observe the God breadcrumbs and notice when you're transitioning, okay, from one season to another. And then choose to commit to transitioning with ease and grace. Even though you feel fear, you can still have ease and grace as you walk through the fear. I promise you this because I've done it so freaking much. I've been an entrepreneur for 11 years and I've had multiple pivots. This is my third big pivot within the 11 years of entrepreneurship. My third big pivot that Spirit's asking me to step into. And so I get it. You know, the unknown is scary. There is no guarantee, but you've got to let that all go if you want to be in flow. And if you really, truly want ease and grace, and if you really, truly want a bigger, better life, and that's what's available on the other side of surrendering, a bigger, better life, a deeper, juicier living, orgasmic soul freedom. That's what's available to you when you simply surrender and flow through the transitions to new seasons of your life, okay? And being patient, you know, again, it's letting it all go. Just give it up. All these, you know, these expectations, timelines that you create in your head. I want to be married with kids by a certain age. I want, you know, a house or $1 million by a certain age. Can you let it go? Can you give it all up to flow from season to season with ease and grace as you're meant to? Because there really is a purpose for it all, right? So I'm going to share with you the some of the major pivots I've had in my 11 years as an entrepreneur. And your head may say one thing, and this is what I want to challenge, right? So hear out my journey. I left, you know, I left being an employee in the nonprofit sector to start my own business 11 or 12 years ago, almost 12 years ago. February 2007 is when I officially became an LLC and I stepped into being a consultant. And I had a lucrative database consulting business for about 7 years. And then Spirit tells me, nope, you're done with that. Like literally killed off my passion and said, move on to being a healer. And it's like, what? And I just got my first mortgage and I just had my, I was pregnant with my second baby. And I was just like, you're kidding me. Why would I leave my 6-figure database consulting business to start all over from the bottom rung of the ladder with a brand new business that's so different than what I was doing before, like completely different, right? Night and day. And, but I had to surrender. And you know, in the beginning I didn't. I straddled the two. It was very hard for me to go all in with both feet in the beginning because I was all up in the head. I was a control freak. Dear Spirit, please tell me how many years before I replace my income. Dear Spirit, give me 20 steps. I'm not going to settle for just one step. I need to see 20 steps, right? This is the control freak in me. How many of you guys do that? Oh my God. And, you know, and God's just like, I don't roll like that. God's just like, I don't play that way. Like, just take the next step I just showed you. And so you've got to surrender and walk in faith. That's how you transition from season to season with ease and grace. Walk in surrender, walk in faith. And, right, so I was saying, so sometimes it may not make sense, right? Why would I leave database to come into healing work? And then I did healing work and spiritual development for a couple of years. And then in summer solstice 2016, Spirit asked me to shift my focus to really support spiritual entrepreneurs, to what Lord Lanto calls soul purpose success. So I got that language straight from Spirit. Lord Lanto was the embodiment of Confucius before he ascended. He's also the holder of the second flame, which is the flame of wisdom. So anywho, so here was Spirit telling me in 2016, pivot, new season, work with entrepreneurs, get them to soul purpose success so that they can really have greater impact. So I said, okay, cool. I surrendered. So here was my season change, my pivot. So it was asking me to put spiritual development and personal development, you know, make it secondary, and had me put business development as a priority for my services and my program. So I had to, you know, rename, restructure my program, so forth. And so, okay, so that's cool. I can do that. And then in 2019, in January, I'm being asked now to switch the order again. So business development is going to go on the back burner, and Spirit's wanted me to put spiritual development and personal development back in the front burner. So from the head, it's like, well, what are you doing? Why are you making me swap back and forth? It doesn't make sense, right? But I'm clear that because I'm in surrender, I'm clear that it was really training ground. It was training ground, okay? Because I'm being asked now in 2019 to really share my Asian American experience and really call it what it is. So the thing that I've been running away from, the thing that I had to unshackle myself from, is this thing called duty. Now in 2017, I talked about the same stuff. My message, my core message is my core message, but I talked about it, you know, from just this general lens of unshackle yourself from guilt, unshackle yourself from victimhood, but I didn't call it duty. I didn't really talk about it from this Asian American lens, and I'm being really nudged to do that now. And in so doing, I'm being asked to take on my Asian American community, which is really confronting, or it was. It's not so much anymore. There's still some kind of, you know, whatever I'll have to work out. But if I was asked to do this in 2016, I would not have done it. I would have been extremely confronted. I wasn't ready in 2016 to take on the Asian American community. I've done tremendous healing between 2016 and the end of 2018, tremendous healing. As you guys may know, you know, I got my mother back, the healing with my mother, the healing with some friends, and really just kind of owning my power and my value on a whole nother level. Anyway, so I wasn't ready in 2016. And so there's a rhyme and reason for the seasons, and you just have to trust it and really pay attention to the transitions and commit to moving through the transitions with ease and grace. And the key to doing that is surrendering and walking in faith. Okay, so let it all go. All these timelines that we may have in our head, all these logical paths that we may see ourselves on, can you let it go? Can you give it all up and just completely surrender? Because then you'll see the joy. Then you'll see the magic, the miracles, the power, you know, the God. That's when you'll see God, when you get out of your head and you just completely surrender. Okay, so I don't know, Kevin, what season you're in and what it is God is nudging you to move into next, but I would just urge you to notice the God breadcrumbs, acknowledge it, because then you'll get more, by the way. Like when you acknowledge spirit guidance as being spirit guidance, and then you trust it and walk in faith, it's like flexing your mastery muscle, right? Your muscle gets bigger, and so then you see more, and then you'll be asked to walk deeper in faith. And that's just how it goes. But it really is a juicy, juicy life. And all these nudges in each season helps you to really strengthen your mastery, your self-mastery. And, you know, it moves you closer to self-ascension. That's the whole point of it all for me. Okay, so I want to thank you so much, Kevin, for your question. For those of you that want to submit your questions, you can do so on my website. There's a little voicemail plugin on the side. It's I think it says Ask Renee. So just go ahead and you click that. You leave me a little voicemail, and I'll answer some of your questions if I feel it's going to be valuable for the whole group and the larger tribe. I'll answer your questions here, okay, on video. So go ahead and do that. And I love it. Thank you so much, Kevin, for following my videos and really just gaining all the value you can out of it, because that's why I do what I do. And so I love you for being here, and all of you as well. If you feel a God breadcrumb, okay, whether to work with me privately or to come to my upcoming retreat, which is happening May 12th through the 14th in Tarrytown, New York, I want you to know that there's something on the other side of this God breadcrumb. I want you to get really masterful at following them. Now, in the past retreats that I've held in Montana and in other places like Mount Shasta, a lot of people who sign up for my retreats, they'll say to me, I don't really know what I'm going to get out of this. I don't know if I want something in particular, but I'm feeling really called to attend your event. And the reason for that, and it may be you, right? So I want you to pay attention to your God breadcrumb. The reason for that is because Spirit wants you to have some of the activations at the retreat, because I always do an opening ceremony, a closing ceremony, which is a third eye activation from the Cosmic Christ, and an ascension ceremony at the end with Saint Germain. And of course, there's lots of juicy content, right? Because this upcoming retreat is called Your Soul's Core Message. It's still a bit of a business development retreat. It may be my last retreat really focusing on just entrepreneurs. I feel that that may be true, okay? But we'll let, God tell me what to do. So if you're called to grow your business and to attend my event to help you grow your business and your visibility and align with your soul's core message, come, okay? There is a reason. Stop trying to justify things in your head. I want you to know that when you surrender and show up, it's better than you can picture or dream in your head, right? Like, just come and be with us for 2.5 days. Be with me live. Let me pour into you. Let me help you discover your soul's core message. Get visible with it, because we're going to actually create bite-sized content for social media that's aligned with your soul's core message. So you'll actually walk away with power and a plan, right? Like a real plan for growing your business and getting visible. So if you're feeling called, come, trust it. It's crazy affordable. It's only $9.97 for 2.5 days with me. All right. Private work starts at $10,000 with me. And this, again, may be the last business development oriented event that I do. So I want you to come and don't miss out on this opportunity. It would be a shame. Okay. Once you say yes to that calling, Spirit Team is in full force working with you. Because this is how transformation works. When you say yes to the thing, energy starts moving. It's like when I wanted to move up here to the mountains. I said to my husband, we just got to do something to get the energy moving. Let's play. Let's go explore. Let's go up to one of the towns. And it was complete blind faith in 2017. God said, go to the mountains. I said, okay. And it was complete blind faith. We didn't know anybody up here. We didn't know any of the towns. But we got the energetic ball rolling by saying yes. Came out to explore, chose a playground just to check out the community vibe. My son talks to one of the little girls and says, hey, we're from the city. We're looking to move up here. The little girl's father overhears, comes to my husband. Hey, I heard you're looking to move up here. Cool. My wife is a realtor and she's actually going to be here in 5 minutes. I mean, let's chat. And so this was the universe and God, because we said yes and was open to taking action to explore it. God literally threw a realtor on my lap. And that realtor is actually a really good friend of mine now. We have play dates all the time. And so it's such a blessing, right? And so this is how it works. Say yes to the thing first and watch everything unfold perfectly. So if it's a God breadcrumb, if you get nothing else from any of my videos, if you never work with me at all, I want you to just get this. Following your God breadcrumbs, it's everything. It will lead you to your answered prayers. You don't need to know how many God breadcrumbs before the answered prayer. Let that go. If you do not gain anything else from me or never work with me, I want you to really get masterful at understanding, observing your God breadcrumbs and saying yes to it. Because I promise you, everything you want is on the other side. So if you happen to be called to join me in Tarrytown, New York, May 12th through the 14th for your Soul's Core Message Retreat, join me. Click on the link above. Complete the transaction for the $9.97. You get to bring a friend for $97. So after you complete your registration, Cherie, my assistant, will email you all the details for the venue, everything you need to know, and then she'll give you a link. We'll work it out so that you can bring a friend for just $97. Because I'm committed I'm so committed to having so many light workers be aligned and be visible and working their purpose so they can have the impact. We can't do it just by ourselves. We can't do it just by ourselves. You alone. Can you just imagine, like, if your impact is like this particular circle, right? And then another light worker, perhaps it's your colleague, her impact is this circle over here. If everybody was out creating the impact they're meant to have in the world, holy moly, like, this world would turn fast, right? And I have a client who signed up, Christina Heike, who signed up for the retreat coming up. She's all about healing up families, like healing up trauma so that families can be together again And when we do this, I'm so clear that it's going to have an amazing impact on the children, the younger generation. And it makes a big difference to me because I have kids, right? And so I get her mission of healing families so that we can heal the younger generation, so that the world can be on a deep, trajectory towards peace that much quicker. It's stunning. What you guys do, the impact you're meant to have is stunning. It's stunning. Diana, another client of mine, is all about helping powerful women in corporate America step into their full power and be a CEO of their own business. She's helping women own more of their power and trust themselves. If women owned all their power, can you imagine how fast the earth would turn, right? Because men are so easy to own their power, but women, it takes them longer steps to work through all of this ingrained cultural talk that says women are less than, right? Women need to take a back seat. How long will we take a back seat? So Diane is doing amazing work helping to empower women. That's huge, right? And I have Meg, who's coming to the retreat in May, and she's all about helping people find their inner truth. Oh, like that is like freedom and relief for the soul, right? How many of you know people who are not living their truth and they're living someone else's dream, right? Or they're stuck in a box because they're afraid to speak their truth. This is freeing work. For me, I'm clear what you guys do are stunning. And together as a collective, we are going to help not only Mother Earth ascend, which she is doing, by the way, but help all of her children ascend with her. And this is the reason why Mother Earth actually delayed her ascension. Okay, I'm going off on a long story, but I love this story. Mother Earth delayed her ascension in 2000 So Y2K was a really big deal. She was supposed to start her ascension then. And she said no, because my children are not ready, right? Mankind, humanity was not ready. Just between 2000 and 2012, there was a massive shift in consciousness on this planet, right? More people became awakened spiritually between 2000 and 2012. So it's been really great work. But imagine if more of us were out there, visible with our soul's core message, really creating the impact we're meant to have, getting paid for it, so people are actually anchoring their breakthroughs. I'm going to say that again. Imagine us as a collective getting paid well for the transformation we offer, so that people can actually integrate and anchor the breakthroughs we give them. That's permanent shifts, okay? So stop giving stuff for free. But that's what I'm committed to. So I have a bonus called Bring a Friend bonus, where once you register and you pay the $9.97, you get an opportunity to bring a friend for $97. What else do I want to say? Follow your God breadcrumbs. It's everything. I adore you. I see you. Okay, so when I literally look at my clients and I look at you guys as you engage with me here in the group or through email, all I see is your purpose and the impact you're meant to have in the world. It's stunning. You guys don't see it. You guys kind of it's like bopping up and down in the water. It's like sometimes you're like, oh, I want to create impact. It feels so good. And then you dip into the water. You're like, oh my God, look at my circumstances. This is so real. And so you bop up and down. And I've been there. Okay, so I'm still human. So I get it. This is not a judgment thing. It's not right, wrong, good, bad. But I just wanted you to know that I see you, and I see that the impact you're meant to have is stunning. And I'm committed to you being out there, working your light, getting paid for it, creating the impact you're meant to create, because we want to shift mankind. Okay, awesome. I love you for being here. Thank you so much for letting me into your world and into your hearts. I don't take it lightly. So thank you. The link is up above this video or below. Sign up. I can't wait to see you guys in Tarrytown, May 12th through the 14th. Bye, guys.